live. How are you? Welcome to Wellness Week Live. Wellness Wednesdays. It's Wednesday. Your dog is barking. My dog is coming up the stairs. Everybody's going nuts. Magnus, how are you?
I'm good. One of my dogs are barking at something outside, so always action in this house.
Yeah, my dog Rocky, he's making his way up here. You know, I saw you put a post about the dog getting a bath. Oh, man, I had to laugh because that looks like my dog Rocky. Rocky doesn't really like – what dog really likes a bath, you know, but –
some dogs, I think, is the difference between having a bath and jumping into water and playing around.
True.
My dogs don't like water, period. And we've been having some pretty heavy rains here in Southern California. I mean, it's actually we're getting a lot of snow and everything up in the mountains, so it's causing a little bit of problems. But again, my dogs were soaking wet this morning, so just
they were
air dryer out, and now they're back and dry and happy again.
That's awesome, yo, bro. It's like 70 degrees right here in New Jersey. We have like Cali weather right now.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. There's like so you don't remember when we talked a couple of weeks ago? It was like in the 90s, like lower 90s here in San Diego area.
Wow.
And now, like during nighttime, it's actually we get night frost. So it would be down like lower 30s. So but the swings, like it's crazy.
It's like bipolar weather, right?
Yeah. No, but this is California, like winter for you. You know, like 1 week it's you're wearing shorts. Then the next week you have to basically bring out winter clothes.
100%. So hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wellness Week Wednesdays. Magnus and I are going to be talking today about. So I've been preaching about therapy apps. So I've joined both, the two top ones, and I'm going to give you my review today. And then Magnus and I are going to talk about the second thing we're going to talk about are vegetables. He's going to review mushrooms. I'm going to review asparagus, the power of them, because you always hear eat your vegetables, but why? And then we're going to, last, if we have time, our third thing is we're going to talk about our exercise routines of late, you know. So anyways, okay, let's get into it. What's up, everybody? If you have any comments or questions, please type them in below, and we'll try our best to answer those. We're not giving any medical advice or legal advice, just two friends talking. Okay, so I'm ready. So, you know, I've been telling everybody, as you know, Magnus, I've been like, hey, you should do the therapy app. Hey, you need help? Do the therapy app. Hey, you need therapy? Do the therapy app. Meanwhile, I'm not doing the therapy app. So I'm like, you know what? I'm a crap talker. Shame on me. If I'm preaching to join the therapy app for people who need counseling or therapy, maybe I should do it too. And now, as you know, I've done therapy in the past, like face-to-face, you know, physically in an office or whatever. It's great. I highly recommend therapy for everyone at some point in your life, or counseling, whatever you want to call it, coaching, you know, whatever. And maybe you talk to your religious leader or your coach or someone, or maybe you need a therapist. You know, again, talk to friends. That's good too. But sometimes you need a therapist. Sometimes you need someone who's a professional, a neutral ear, whatever. So I've been telling people, go to therapy online. And particularly, and one of the links is here on the Wellness Week page called betterhealth.com or the BetterHealth app, or Talkspace.com. So I joined both, and I'm going to review them right now. Drum roll, please. So I've never done this before. Thank you, Magnus. Thank you. Paychecks in the mail. So I've never done it before, but I was like, you know, let me try it. I was a little apprehensive because I was like, I'm used to, like, you know, you see the person, you shake their hand, you kind of, you know. So, but I was like, I've been shooting my mouth off about people should go and do online therapy, the therapy apps. You see commercials for it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do it, because I've been shooting my mouth off. Okay, so I signed up for Talkspace, and I signed up for BetterHelp. Here's my review. They're both good, by the way. Highly recommend them for everybody. So here's the thing. I'm going to go read the study. I have the study, Magnus. I want to impress you, because I know you have a PhD, and I want to impress you. So look, I'm not going to read letter for letter here, but so look, nothing is going to be a silver bullet in life, right? You know, it's a tool in the tool chest, therapy, whether it's in person. But if you want to do an app, it's good because there's a lot of privacy. You know, you don't have to like physically walk into the office off the street and you're wondering, does anybody see me? You know, you can just be in your car or be in your bedroom, or it's a little bit more discreet. So that was nice. So after I got done with the fear of it, I was like, let me do it. I signed up for both. So here it is. Okay, so both apps, and let me make sure I got the name of the apps right, because I have Alzheimer's now as an old man. So it's right, BetterHelp and Talkspace. Those are the two big ones in America. There's other ones, but those are the two big ones. So both apps, You can select any counselor you want. There's thousands of counselors to go through. You can check. You can select the type of therapy you want, the counselor's specialty, the counselor's religion. If you're like, I really want a Jewish or a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu therapist, they got that. Both apps have that, and it's all drop-down menus, so you don't have to type anything in. It's literally click, 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 click. Both are very easy. The Talkspace and BetterHelp. You can also choose why you want to see a therapist. So for me, they give you a list. You can type it in, but I was lazy like everybody else. So I'm like, I don't know. So I hit anxiety and stress, but you can do anything. Marriage, it could be suicide, it could be bipolar, it could be whatever, money, it could be anything. Okay, so you can choose whatever you like. All right, so then you can also see the therapist, like their education, their background, their photo. So it's very, very detailed on their end. They don't know much about you other than whatever name you type in, and but you can't communicate or choose a therapist until you pay. So first you got to pay. Okay, that's fine. But you can do shopping. Okay, they don't know anything about you. Like you put your name, maybe your phone number and email. You got to put that down though. So I was a little bit like, I don't want coupons coming out, whatever. But I did it. All right. So then let's see. Once you get that, you can reach out to your therapist on either of the apps. They're very similar in color, in layout, in usability. The apps are very, very quick, very intuitive, almost like using
user-friendly.
Yeah, user-friendly, almost like using Instagram or Facebook. It's like almost the same coders probably coded this. It's very, very intuitive and very easy, very friendly. Both apps let you choose the services. Both apps are very easy. Okay, both apps offer. Now, this I thought was interesting. So you're not gonna get a therapist face-to-face here. This is for the phone use or computer use. So you have a choice, which you have video, like you and I are videoing right now. You have phone, you can talk, and you have actually text therapy, which I thought was interesting. I was like, I wouldn't do text therapy, but not up front, because I think text therapy could work if you already establish a relationship with the therapist, maybe.
I want to add one thing.
Yes, ask questions or go ahead, Magnus, go ahead.
Because looking at a lot of the younger generation now, you don't use our phone to actually call someone, you use it for texting. And it's also like availability. If you're having a job, you might, or like if there's something, you can still be discreet with text messaging. And some people are actually better at using written words because they think things through more and are able to like say what they mean more when they think through and write it down instead of frogs jumping out of your mouth and people getting upset. So true. So I like that. There's options.
Good point, Magnus. I didn't think about that one. That's true. So you have now the text therapy is the cheapest, the most affordable. The video is going to be the most expensive. I'm going to get into the price pretty soon. By the way, I wound it up, and they're both great. It's just preference. So one is not better than the other from my research and my experience. I belong to both, but I wound up choosing to get the therapy from BetterHelp. Dude, I'm losing my mind here. BetterHelp. So I chose to pay for BetterHelp. So I'm going to get into that now. So anyways, why I chose. So both apps are similar technically in prices. BetterHelp's a little bit of a lower price. So it's a base package. The price is about $260 for 1 month or 4 video visits versus Talkspace. Same thing, 1 month or 4 visits at $430 for the same. Now, the higher price doesn't mean that the therapists are better. You can look at the resumes; they're the same. You're not getting a lesser of a therapist. The only thing I can think of why the price would be different is because maybe Talkspace has more staff or maybe quicker customer service. I don't really know. So or maybe they're just charging more because they're charging more. But so both you can cancel anytime. You don't have to commit to anything. You can sign up and then cancel. You don't even have to go to therapy if you don't want to. You can do 1 therapy session. That's it. You can change therapists whenever you want to. You can, keep your therapy and say, oh, you know what? I want to change the date of my therapy as long as you do it 24 hours prior. There's no penalty. What else? Both have group counseling, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like, oh, dude, if you want family counseling or couple counseling, that's awesome. You can, on your phone, on your laptop, stream it to your television. The counselor is right there in your living room. That's pretty cool. Both have that. Both, you can change your sessions. I said that already. You can message your counselor once you pay. You can message the counselor anytime you want. So whether it's a male counselor, female counselor, whatever, you can say, hey, I have to change the date. You don't get charged for sending an email or a message to them for logistic reasons or scheduling reasons. So here's how it works. You download the app, okay? And then you just follow the app prompts, like, answer this, answer that, answer this, answer that. They're not going to ask you for your social security number, nothing too crazy. They're not going to ask you where you work. So it's pretty, like I said, pretty private. And then you can look up the therapist you like, officially sign up, but you can't communicate to them directly unless you pay. You can kind of, once you're a member, you can communicate again for scheduling changes, but you won't get charged for that. Okay, so they're not asking for your address. They're not asking for social. You can choose to do the phone, text, or video. I chose the video. I like face-to-face. It's a little more money, but, whatever. And then, so I chose the video. Okay, I got a female counselor, by the way, and she's amazing. I'm not going to say her name, just whatever, but awesome, counselors. Yesterday was my first session, and we talked about, I'm not going to get into details, but my stressors and, work, family, stuff like that. Kind of kept it general. We got into some meat and potatoes. And then, by the way, you can choose, I think, on both. Do you want a more of a listening counselor, or do you want a counselor who's going to give you more advice, which I thought was interesting. I was like, So I chose a counselor who listens more because I like to talk. So she was 90% listening, 10% advice, which that was nice. And obviously they're not robots, give or take, right? So that was really cool that you can pick somebody who will give you assignments, or pick somebody who will only listen, or pick somebody who will mix and mix. All right. And then you log on to get your session. You hit the video go or whatever button, boom, you're good to go. You get 30 minutes to 45 minutes window. So they're not too strict, but it's approximately 30 minutes per session. I don't know how the text works, but you can look at that. And then you get a reminder, hey, you have a session coming up in 2 days, or a session coming up in, an hour, which is nice. You don't have to have reminders. If you're worried about reminders popping up on the phone, you can not have reminders if you don't want that. I took it. I like a reminder. And then, yeah, we really hit it off, me and the counselor. I was like, dude, counseling's awesome. So the difference is, though, the price was a difference. It wasn't a huge difference, but the price was, I gave you the price. It was like 400 and change versus 200 and change. BetterHelp was less expensive. Again, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but the prices were different. You pay by credit card, debit card, whatever. And then this one is, let's see, I sent for both, reminders. This is the other reason why I went with BetterHelp, actually. BetterHelp kind of courted me. Like I signed up for both, but I didn't pay yet. I waited for a day or two to kind of process and think, do I really want to do this? Or should I, let me just, like whatever. I took my time. And so BetterHelp pursued me. They were like, hey, don't forget, we would love to see you where Talkspace didn't. So I was like, huh. Now that might be negative or positive for somebody. Some people might not like to be, sold or pursued or reminded, but I like that kind of. I like a little bit of a sales pitch, a little bit of a reminder. So that kind of motivated me. In my mind, it said, oh, BetterHelp wants to work with me. Now I'm not naive, obviously trying to make money, but I mean, it was nice. I was like, oh, like they wanted my business, where Talkspace was a little bit more passive about it. Now, again, to each his own. You might like something that's more passive and not reminding you, but I like the fact that BetterSpace, they asked for my business, so I'm down with that. So I went with BetterSpace. What else? If you got any questions, hit me up here. All right, so let's see. And then I did. By the way, you might not get your first choice in counselor from either app. So I didn't get my first two choices because my first two counselors, and they got thousands of counselors to choose from, so it's not really a big deal. But the first two counselors I chose were either basically too busy, or one can only give me text counseling. And I was like, me personally, that didn't work for me. I want to see video. So my third counselor, God bless you, my third counselor, then I, it was fine. It worked out. And it's pretty quick. It'll just be like, oh, unavailable, whatever. You'll know right away. They're not going to lead you on. And then, so again, I'm assuming Talkspace probably has the same issue. Not every single counselor is going to be available, but when they're not available, you can hit notify the company, so that can help future people to see maybe work that out. If a counselor's too busy, maybe they shouldn't be on Talkspace or BetterHelp at this time. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so the other thing I like about BetterHelp is you get a thumb scan. So when you want to log on, you just hit your thumb and then you're on. Where Talkspace, you have to text in the 4-digit code or whatever. Not a big deal, but everyone's so lazy nowadays. I'm like, I like the thumb. So I did the thumb and I'm in.
Question: Do you know if they have facial recognition on the newer versions?
See, I couldn't tell you because I didn't see that from Talkspace or BetterHelp. Maybe they do, but it was just thumbprint or text in the code, your code. But yeah, so BetterSpace has the thumb imprint. But good question. Yeah. And then BetterHelp was also running a deal. I'll tell you, I love schmoozing. I love wheeling and deal. Oh, they got 10% coupon. I'm a coupon guy. Okay, so I was like, all right, BetterHelp really sealing the deal here. And then what else? I thought that Talkspace was more clear and detailed in their pricing. BetterSpace was kind of like a little bit unclear to me what the price breakdown was. I mean, they had the prices, but I was like, you had to kind of read a little bit, where I thought that Talkspace was a lot more clear in what the packages were and the prices. So I didn't have to do any math with Talkspace. I had to do some math with BetterSpace. BetterSpace was a better price, or lower price, I should say. And then other than that, chill, therapist, whomever you're talking to, it's not a silver bullet, but it's a tool in the tool chest. It's a big tool. It's part of a bigger therapy and life. Therapy is not going to cure anything, but it's, again, as you know, it's a complement of proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper social connections, proper, hydration, and therapy is part of it, in my opinion. So it can't hurt to try, folks. You don't like it, you can cancel it. There's no contract. So what's the big deal? I just did it. And my first session was yesterday. It went very well. And what else?
And I ask a question.
Yes, sir.
So how because when it comes down to it, it's the same thing when you're having a coach or personal trainer or your physician and things like that. How did you feel like the interaction, like starting out? Because you have to kind of open up and like, did you feel like you had a good, like, was the therapist good at like kind of open you up in a good way and like you feel connection with them?
Yeah. So right. So the therapist, I saw her resume, obviously college educated, multiple licensings, decades of experience. So, but to your point, yeah, funny you mentioned that. So I'm already well trained, so to speak, with the counseling circuit. I've been to counselors, so I kind of know the whole thing. So it wasn't odd to me. But if you've never been to counseling before, yeah, I would say maybe start off with a phone call, not video face-to-face, because that could be maybe a little bit intimidating. Not for me, but so yeah. So we went on to the video and she's like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm like, how would you like me to refer to you, as doctor or your first name? Or I say, hey, just call me my first name. And kind of like you and I are talking now, just kind of, I didn't dump on her right away. I was like, she's like, well, what's going on, Anthony? And I was like, oh, well, just stresses of life, business and family. And then we slowly kind of almost like dating almost. It's like, so what do you do? Like that. And, you don't have to answer questions if you don't want to, but she wasn't pressing me. She wasn't like, so answer this, answer that. She was like very, very chill. Just like, so again, yeah. So that's that, and so I went easy with it, So now next week I'll start dropping the big bombs. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of, that was it, like, so what's going on in your life? And I'm like, I'm just stressed with work and family. You start off kind of tertiary light, although they're therapists, I'm saying? They've heard everything. So you're not going to shock them with, whatever fear or hope or anxiety or stress you have. So I don't know if that answered the question or not.
But. Yeah, no. I just wanted to like because that's probably what might scare people off is like the interaction, like that you're feeling a fairly easy connection that is kind of like organic and like you said, it's not like you're sitting there and getting interviewed. It's more kind of like
friendship almost.
Yeah, and like talking over a cup of coffee or something like that.
Well, now this therapist was. Now to your point though, this is where the little bit of a risk comes in, because you do have to meet that therapist for the first time, whether it's in person, old school, or via an app. So yeah, maybe the therapist won't work out, but you don't know that till you try it. And then you can, obviously you would pull back a little bit and you wouldn't be so forthcoming about stuff. You might be like, okay, well, okay, thank you. Nice to see you. And then you can just not have that therapist next week. You can go on the app and change it to somebody else.
And this is something that I want to add, because I think you have to do the same thing when it comes to like finding a physician, finding a dentist, finding a lawyer, finding a personal trainer, nutrition coach, whatever it is. Like, just because the first one wasn't a complete slam dunk, don't be afraid of shopping around and testing people out. Because I think that is like you learn what you need and want, and can kind of get that easier if you try a couple of different things. I mean, it's funny because I had a bunch of like clients over time, like, well, like working with you was different from my previous ones or whatever, like it's always like, it's always going to be like, it's a relationship, it's personal, like chemistry, personalities matching and things like that. So I think that is important that we take away from that like, just because the first one might not be perfect, like don't be afraid of trying different ones.
100%. And that's with it, right, with anything. And by the way, the therapist is working for BetterHelp or Talkspace. So they have a vested interest, but they kind of don't. So they're not going to try to push you and be like, so can I sign you up for next week? They didn't do that. I'm sure they've been trained when they sign up. And by the way, they're professionals. So it's not their first rodeo. They know better. This is not some used car salesman type of deal. The therapists are and I've been to multiple therapists throughout my life. None of them are like, so can we sign you up for the next set? They're just like, okay, well, reach out to me if you'd like to continue. Have a good day. That's it. It's like so chill, so laid back. It's not like buying a car, where it's like, how can we close this deal? None of that crap. Okay, so yeah. And then real quick in closing, the apps may or may not be for you. That's cool. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But give it a try. I mean, it can't hurt. And the price is going to be less expensive than face-to-face, the old school. Now, I don't know if they offer face-to-face in these apps, like as an attachment to it. Maybe they do. I wasn't going there for that. And then what else? Having a friend or a family member or someone you love to talk to is important. But again, the therapist gives you that neutral ear. They're not going to pump you up and be like, yeah, you're right, Johnny. Yeah, you're right. Well, you might be right. You might be wrong. So this is nice to have that neutral ear. And it felt good, by the way, Magnus. Before I went to the therapy yesterday, I was like, just knowing that therapy was coming up, I was like, I felt good. I was like, I felt like I had somebody in my corner. And I didn't even meet the therapist yet. I just felt like, I'm not alone. I'm not doing this alone. I always say, even if you're a commando, even if you're a Navy SEAL, you're in a SEAL team. You're in a commando team. You're in the military. You're in a team. No man, no woman can do it alone. I don't care how tough you think you are. You ain't nothing without that team. So that's it. And so the therapist is part of your team, part of your wellness. So what else?
That's one thing though. What was your biggest takeaway from this?
I thank God for modern technology, bro, because like I wish I would have had this before cell phone apps. Because when I went to therapy the first time, it was old school, like in the, I don't know, late 90s or early 2000s, where it's like, got to look in the yellow pages, look in the book, and then I got to call, and then I got to walk in there, and everyone's seeing, is anybody watching me? Because you feel like a loser, but you're not a loser, you're not crazy. But now this is nice because it's like, just, da-da-da, talk, whatever, and, whatever, it's not a problem. It's unfortunate. And by the way, in my opinion, everyone should go, but these 5 particular job titles should go. If you are a soldier, if you are a cop, if you are a nurse, a doctor, or a teacher, if you're in one of those 5 professions, you need to do this twice a year, in my opinion. And as you probably know this, Magnus, they offer therapy for these professionals, but it's wink, wink. It's opt in, meaning that everyone will know if you went to therapy. Oh, what are you doing? So it's unfortunate in America. They should have these 5 professions. Again, the doctors, the nurses, the cops, the soldiers, the teachers have to mandatory go to therapy twice a year. This way, from the chief on down, everyone's going. So you don't stick out like a sore thumb because people are afraid of losing their jobs. Doctors have the second highest suicide rate in the world in our country. You would never think that. They see such horror in death, but they can't talk to anybody because if you do, you might lose your job. But wink, wink. Oh, no, you won't lose your job. Wink, wink. You'll lose your job. So you're not allowed to tell anybody you're going to therapy. Nobody wants to hear that. So, but what? It's better you hurt a patient? It's like, come on, man. So I wish they would make it mandatory. Everyone has to go in these 5 professions. Anyways, this is a nice way to go and no one knows you went, so. Yeah.
And the thing that we were talking just before we got on air is that the availability of it. Like if you're, what like app and technology is that you can actually, like, if you're in the middle of nowhere and still have a cellular like connection or Wi-Fi or whatever,
yes.
You can actually shoot. It's not like you're stuck with whatever you have close by, like physically close by. You can actually talk to someone on basically on the other side of the world.
Yes.
And you can connect, like even if you're going abroad, you can still connect with this kind of a therapist and everything. So I think this is the beauty of it, of using, and it's the same thing. We're seeing the same thing with most of the things when it comes to buying things from Amazon. having your coach, your nutrition coach online, having your physician online, that you like, it opens up, you don't have to go there physically. They can do a lot of the things just like we're doing now with conversation, or doing certain tests through the phone or whatever. So
That's my biggest
really like
takeaway.
that.
Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. And to your point, right. And by the way, if you don't have the money for therapy, I'm sure Talkspace or BetterHelp will have some kind of help that they can give you financially, or you can go to your community center or your religious house of worship. There's no excuse why you can't get therapy somehow, some way, or counseling. And to say you don't have the money, again, I always say, how many pairs of sneakers do you have? How many shoes do you have? Are you going on vacation? Are you going out drinking with the boys and the girls this weekend? You got money, cut it out. And again, if you have no money, there's help there for you too. You know what I mean? So anyways, okay, man, I don't want to take too much time, but that was that. If anybody has questions, you can message me or whatever, or type it on below and I'll answer you. And but right, even for your business, Magnus, training and stuff, I'm sure you talk to people, clients through the app or your phone or your video. It's a great tool. Great modern technology is. I wish it was around, when I was in my early 20s and stuff. But it's okay. It worked out. So
and I also want to add that too. Like when it comes to like, when you talk to your clients and like, nutrition and training, well, this is such a small part. Like after a while, we start talking about way more things. Like I often talk about like mental health and emotional health and things like that. Like once the clients feel comfortable of sharing, if they feel like they can share it straight away. I mean, I think it's so important that you have that intertwined with the rest of your health thing. And also how much important it is. Like for instance, like talked to one of my clients the other day, and we did not talk much about nutrition. He was having a little bit of a rough time now. This kind of the first time that he like goes into it, and just like talking to him, like, don't judge yourself too hard. We were talking way more about dealing with kind of setbacks and all those things. And with like, we didn't talk about, you should eat like this nutrient. No, we talked about this is how you deal with this and how to move forward. And it's like, it's a roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster. It's going up and down all the time. And there's so many moving pieces. I mean, you can only control that much.
Right. And by the way, to your point also, you don't have to have an acute situation where it's like, I want to kill myself, I need a therapist, which is also a good reason to go to therapy. But even if you're feeling alone, I'm reading studies about loneliness, and we all have loneliness at some point in our life. And it can be deadly loneliness. I mean, they say loneliness, if it goes too long as a pattern, can be equivalent to smoking like 10 cigarettes a day. I'm not talking about being lonely one day. I'm talking about if you're lonely for weeks and months or whatever. Anyways, therapy could be good for that. Just have someone to talk to,
Not just that, dealing with success. How do you deal with success? Maybe
Bro.
you need to go to a therapist to talk about that. I'm going through so good times.
Yes. You're 100% right. By the way, I have had to hide my success from people. That's sad.
Yeah.
Think about that. I should have gotten therapy for that too. In the past when I had these, and it's kind of sad. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that. Therapy for the good times too. Yeah, because it's like I gotta hide that I'm.
But it's like, and this is something that I find so funny when we're talking about like what a lot of people is like, I wanna train with you. I wanna like talk to you like nutrition, but I have to do this first. Otherwise, no, you do not need to go through a bunch of things to actually start like training or going to therapy sessions or things like that. You need to start straight away, because that's where the coach is there for. Wherever you're at in your journey, they're there to help you. So even if you're on the bottom, like don't try to like take the first 10 steps first, because the coach, your therapist, your whatever it is, your mentor, they're the ones that are gonna take you those 10 steps way, way quicker and then move you on even faster. So right. I always find it interesting when people say like, well, I have to do this first before. No. You need to start straight away so we can get things in line and quicken things up and move it forward.
Right. And by the way, we have the power. We can stay with our therapist or get a new one or stop and go. I always tell, so people watching, we are in control, and that's a good thing, so, but definitely talk to somebody, even when times are good. It's good best practices. Keep the well-oiled machine. Okay, Magnus, let's go on to vegetables, fruits, because so you have the mushroom.
Yeah.
I eat mushrooms every day almost.
Yeah.
What do you think about mushrooms, Magnus?
So mushroom, the cool thing about mushroom is a mushroom is its own species, right? It's not a vegetable, it's not a fruit, anything like that. It's its own species. And like research now is that like the mushroom species is so much more complex just from a biological standpoint than we ever thought of. And looking at nutrition, there's so many like different mushrooms too. Like we're like most of the people, oh, mushroom, yeah, white mushroom cut, put it on pizza. No. There literally hundreds of different mushrooms.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Depending on where you're at in the world, like really like interesting and different. Of course, there's a lot of scary stuff with mushrooms too. They could be very poisonous and all those things. But of course, now we're talking about
supermarket mushrooms.
Yeah, nutritional and things. So they do pack quite a like they're not that colorful like a lot of them. Like some are, green, but some are like just like brown, white shades, things like that. But they do pack a lot of nutrients in them. And a lot of mushrooms are considered superfoods, even like quite a lot of protein and fibers in them. So those two things, check. We have a lot of micronutrients, which is trace minerals, vitamins, and all those things, antioxidants. Mushrooms, for instance, are usually packing quite a lot of vitamin D, which is very interesting. And like we do have an issue with the vitamin D deficiency mostly. Yeah. We're talking about more like we have the zinc, we have magnesium, we have copper, we have selenium, things like that. And it helps, all those things, of course, helps us working with the immune system. It reduces inflammation. It can actually helps us with both like mental health and brain health, of course, then. And we're talking about actually helping you burn, like actually fat loss, help you with that thing. So mushrooms are super cool. And a thing that has become quite popular lately is the mushroom coffee.
I think I've had that actually.
Yeah, so mushroom coffee is basically, it's more brewed like a tea. So but what we actually get from this, we don't have a lot of caffeine in it. So if you're caffeine sensitive or that you actually want to enjoy a cup of coffee later on in the day, you can actually have this instead. Also, you see a lot of like chemicals that we find in mushrooms are becoming both pharmaceuticals and supplements. One of the cool things that actually you're seeing with the mushroom coffee is that it helps reduce inflammation. It can also help you as basically a pre-workout. That you see some supplement that actually has like mushroom chemicals in them that actually increase the oxygen intake into our cells going into the mitochondria, which is the basically the power plant of our cells. So we're actually producing more energy by getting more oxygen into the cell in the mitochondria. And with this, it's not like a stimulant that stimulates your central nervous system, which could actually cause a lot of problem because you have a hard time sleeping, and you might actually overtrain because it's a stimulant. Your muscles might not be producing the energy. It's just that you're feeling that you have more energy. So if you're doing any type of pre-workouts, I would rather see you using these forms of pre-workouts that actually create more energy than stimulate the energy.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, no. And by the way, mushrooms are easy to cook. You can pan fry them and a little salt and pepper. I love them. And again, you don't have to eat a whole plate of them, but a little bit goes a long way. By the way, real quick, I don't know if this is somebody's watching, and I don't know who the person is, but Yashiva said that they need help. So Yashiva, if you're watching on YouTube, we have links to crisis helplines and suicide helplines and other links that can help you if you need help. So definitely look into that. Hopefully you're okay. But yeah, don't just take a look, and there's free help out there. Like I said, there's links on our Wellness Week page too. If you go to the top right hand corner for crisis help, if it's an acute situation right now. So hope you're doing well. All right, yeah, no. So just to move on too. So I got the asparagus, and listen, folks.
The mighty asparagus.
Everybody knows that you had asparagus the night before. It's like corn almost, but everyone smells it. So, anyways, I love asparagus. By the way, Magnus, we went over time. By the way, if you have to go, I'll just
no. I think I have time, so I think we will go through the subjects. We might as well. It's fun stuff, and we might as well talk, and especially with the mental health part.
Yeah, man.
It's so important that we talk about that and take out the stigma that it's nothing. It's normal to go.
Right. You're not crazy. We all need mind health, every single human on earth. So, okay. So asparagus, got low calories, a lot of punch, a lot of nutrients, big on fiber, big on vitamin C, A, K, foliate, potassium, phosphorus, and vitamin E. Asparagus, real quick. What is this? Oh, okay. It's a mood booster. Who would have known? Good source of antioxidants, protects the cells. And then it can improve your digestive health. So let's just say you're having a problem going to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So a little asparagus will go a long way because probably the fiber content of it, and it's green, helps support a healthy pregnancy, ladies. Okay. That's probably because of the whatchamacallit, the B9, the foliate. Yep. Okay. And then it helps lower blood pressure. By the way, I donated blood 3 days ago. So, I don't know. We're talking about blood pressure. What else? And again, salt and butter or pepper goes a long way with this stuff. You want to lose weight? Asparagus, any vegetable, and whatever else here.
A little bit olive oil and some lemon juice.
Bro, I love it with salt, pepper, olive oil. The best. And I bake it. I like to bake my asparagus because I like it crunchy. I think a lot of people sometimes, I don't know, I would never boil it, but anyway.
Do you have an air fryer?
The short answer is no. I haven't joined that cult yet.
Yeah, we actually got one from our friends. So
you love it, right? You love it, right?
No, it's good. Especially when it comes to that, it's easy. So basically, the other day, I actually cooked both my homemade French fries and hamburger patty in the air fryer. Because I was lazy and I didn't want to start cooking. So I just threw everything in there and cooked it. Boom, done.
Everybody loves it that has it. And so wait, so have you done asparagus in an air fryer?
Yes.
How did it come out? Crunchy.
It's nice because you get the a little bit of golden and crispiness on the out, and you have still the crunchiness. And again, I had some olive oil. I tossed them in olive oil and then black pepper and salt.
Damn, son. Oh, you're making me hungry. You know what? I have a slow cooker. I probably have to buy the air fryer because everyone swears by it. So, folks,
I see it as another tool. It's definitely efficient and it helps out, and especially people that might if you don't want to fry things in your house. I mean, it's basically a convention oven that it just moves the air quickly. So it's just a tool. I'm not obsessed with it. I do like it. I think it's a good tool for people that are on the go. And I mean, you cook things fast, even frozen food, you put it in there, and it's usually tastes better than actually warming it in the microwave.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I cook every day. So, but yeah, folks, if you're watching, do you have an air fryer? And if so, do you love it, not love it, whatever? Should I get one? Should DJ Anthony get one? I probably
share some. What do you guys cook in your air fryer if you have one?
That's true. All right, now moving on. So along those lines of, again, wellness and health. So we talked about our exercise routines. So you exercise. I just got done exercising before I got on the show. What is something that you're recently doing? So what's one of your routines now that you're doing for your exercise?
So I'm gonna be straight up honest, and I'm always straight up honest. My training has been pretty bad compared to what it used to be. With moving and getting into a new house, getting things organized, and I do have a garage gym, and it has been chaos. And for me, I have a hard time go out and train when things are all over the floor, things like that. Luckily, my father-in-law is ex-mechanic, awesome. So he helped me before to build shelves and everything like that. We actually put that up the other week, and now it's I'm actually enjoying going out to the gym because it's organized, it's clean, everything has its place.
I'm like that too, man.
Yeah. So anyway, so I usually my training routine is mostly resistance training, so strength training. So I train with weights.
Okay.
I walk the dogs usually like an hour and a half, 2 hours in total a day with the dogs. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
like we go out like
Damn, son.
we walk for about an hour in the
Wow.
morning. So, yeah, so they're fit too. Anyway, so my split, I have a split is basically how I divide my training like into different days. So my split is split into pulling exercises on Monday, pushing exercises on Tuesday. I have a day off when I do like on Wednesdays, which are today, mobility stuff like that, a little more like active recovery. Thursdays I do leg routine. Fridays I do like it's more arms and upper body, so it's a kind of a like more kind of a easy day. And then on Saturdays, this is something I started to incorporate later. It's more like a conditioning. So I'm actually pushing. I have a weighted sled that I push up and down the street, and
Damn,
I do some like one arm farmers walks or something similar that I'm alternating between two. So those are my basically training routine, how I divide things in.
Oh, you're not fooling around, man. I'm ashamed to say what I do compared to you. I'm like a couch potato. Holy shit. So, yeah, I mean, I do walking every day. I just did a 3-mile walk just now before the show. I walk my dog every day, but not like you do. My dog is your dog's like Rocky Balboa. So I do walking every single day. I do calisthenics every day. That's your push-ups, your crunches every single day. I don't go crazy. I might do, I don't know, like 100 or so of those throughout the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not in one clip, and then I do a lot of tennis. I got tennis tonight, tennis tomorrow, tennis the next day after that. So depending on the time of year, winter's less tennis time because it's winter, but now it's getting warmer, so I can do upwards of honestly like 7 hours of tennis per day because I'm coaching. So I'm on the court, I'm playing. I'm not one of these coaches that sits there and picks his nose. So plus my normal.
You're out walking around. You're on your feet for 7 hours straight.
Yeah, and I'm playing too.
Yeah,
I'm not going all out, but yeah. But unlike you, unfortunately, and I need to start to get into this, but I'm not really a big fan of it. But I know it's very, very beneficial. I need to do more resistance training, whether that be through weights or through the rubber bands or whatever. I almost non-existent in my life. So, and it shows by my puny arms. But I do a ton of cardio. But yeah, I need to do more. Basically weights. So that's what I need to do. But that's my exercise routine is tennis and walking.
So from my like trainer brain starts jumping in here. I think it's important that you find things that carry overs into your sport, and also that you're working on things that adjust like maybe imbalances, because remember, tennis, I don't know if you're right or left-handed, but most of the people play with a dominant hand most of the time. So you probably needs to have more like mobility work, and the other side probably needs to strengthen up, so you balance things out. Same thing, you should talking about strengthening the back of our bodies because we're sitting so much. So I would try to see it from that perspective and not make it too much of a, like you go in, you maybe train for 20 minutes, half an hour, you do these things, boom, 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 or do it from the conference of like comfortable, like from your home, just get it done. Like maybe just rubber bands or you like you were talking about joining the club or things like that before. I just think that it's because it helps you become more healthier and protect you from getting injured in your sport or your everyday life.
I need to hire, I'm not bullcrapping. I need to hire a trainer. Not because I don't know how to lift. I've been lifting my whole life. I used to be a trainer, but I need the motivation. I need someone to call me up and be like, yo, let's go. You get an appointment. Yeah, I have to look into that for this summer.
Or at least another thing, like if I know you've been working in the industry too, so like you can train yourself. One thing that you could do, like usually like an easier version, is doing like also like online trainer, that you basically you get a program, you fill in, and then you actually have like either through email or conversations, you have the accountability. So you're constantly like having someone like, well, okay, this looks good. Okay, let's increase the weight for next week. Okay, I want to see, like, put a video on, just record it. Like, okay, you need to work on your technique. Your knees need to come further out when you're squatting, or whatever it is. And that's quite easy too. That you still have. I mean, if you have the flexibility that you know that you have a hard time of hitting specific times and days, you have someone at least like community.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just some ideas.
Yeah, 100%. I need some kind of motivation. I mean, I'm a pretty motivated guy, but when it comes to the weights, I'm not motivated, and I know I need to do it. So, know thyself, I probably need either an online trainer or physically in front of me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's that. In closing, is there anything else, Magnus, you wanted to add? I want to respect your time.
Yeah. No. Again, really interesting topic today, and I'm so happy that you had this kind of like review on the apps, and the apps are available, and now you actually have someone talk about it. And again, do research. Like it comes up. This is important. This is an important aspect of your life of like with the mental health part. So I'm really, really glad that you talked it through and went through it and did all these things. So that's super cool.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do it forever. I do it when I need it. I'll do it for a month, and then maybe I'll take off a few months and then do it another time, whenever you need it. But to each his own. People got to do what works for you, whether it's through your church, synagogue, mosque, community center, or maybe even, again, talking to somebody's better than nobody. But a therapist is nice. And I was a little nervous and apprehensive too. So I'm human. By the way, tune in tomorrow. It's the colonoscopy show, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you're 45 to 50, men and women, I'm going to be reviewing my colonoscopy with another guest who had her colonoscopy. We're going to compare notes tomorrow. It's the colonoscopy show, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be literally up my butt.
Can I add something too?
Yes.
I think that people even younger, like down in their 30s or even before, should start looking at it, because
our diet.
Yes, exactly.
And sitting around too much.
We're going down that negative rabbit hole at an earlier age nowadays than we used to.
And that's why the doctors. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, again, if you have any issues or anything like that, I'd rather see you go and get checked out than like, I like, it shouldn't be a problem at my age. Just like, no. Go and check things out if you have any type of issues.
It used to be 50. They lowered it to 45, the doctors. But I'm going to go into the details tomorrow. I'm going to give everybody the blow-by-blow of my colonoscopy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, fun. So, by the way, I made this high-tech sign. Hey, folks, don't forget, like and subscribe and hit the notification. Look at this. Look at this high-tech sign.
There you go.
Subscribe,
folks. Please.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's interested, I'm gonna put the link again to my Facebook group that you can join. So free. We're talking about all types of like nutrition and training tips there. So fun times, and you can learn a whole lot and improve your health.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Hit the subscribe, the notification, the like, share with a friend and family member. Share this video with people, especially this particular episode with therapy. We all need it. It's not a joke. It's just sad what's going on there in the world, in our country. You know, mind health is so important. So please share this with people. So anyways, but yeah, Magnus, thank you for making time as always. Everyone have a good rest of the week. Thanks for checking in. I will sign us out in 3, 2, 1.